I wanted to show you how I add some textures to some large canvases for a base in my Lush series. So you can see here I've got 3 large canvases and I've got them propped up on some ice cream buckets. You see over there on the right hand side I have a bunch of acrylic paint. It's actually not necessarily old acrylic paint, but there's just a small amount in every bottle, so I'm just trying to get rid of it. That means that the colors that I'm putting down right now, I don't care what color goes on there. I'm just trying to get some texture on it. See here, my puppy, he decided after I was all done to go and smell around in the grass and got some blue paint on his nose. I just thought that was cute. Here I got a big glob that came out of there. I could have left that glob on there and it would have just added to the texture. I do wear some gloves whenever I do this. I don't really care if my hands get paint on them or not. It's just, I can take those gloves off really easy and just get a new pair if I need some nice clean hands. Maybe I need to answer my phone real quick or something. I'm just splattering things on there. Here in a little bit, you're going to see that I start rubbing all of that color in. I realized I had forgot something. A lot of times when I do this, I'll use one of my paints. A lot of times it's that blue because I got such a big container of it. And I'll just completely paint the background one solid color. This is just easier, so no white shows through. The white is distracting. I don't want the white there. But if I have a blue background or any color background when I'm throwing all that paint on there, then you can't see the white anymore. It'll just be that one color. That really doesn't matter though, because I'm going to be putting other layers on top of this. You won't see any of these colors whatsoever. Like I said, that's why what I'm grabbing really doesn't matter at all. I'm just trying to get all the last little bits out of each container and consolidate my buckets. Here we go. I'm going to get down there and just spread this paint around. Obviously, since I've got blue and yellow, I'm going to get this green color. But that really doesn't matter. In the end, this will have orange painted over the top of it, and then some other colors. But you'll see what I'm going to be doing with it in the long run. One thing I like about doing this, besides getting out in the nice fresh air, here where I live, it's cold all winter long and snowy, and this is the beginning of summer. I usually like to have a swimsuit on and get a tan while I'm doing it. I do have my swimsuit on there, but it's a little bit early enough in the year that I just can't be in my swimsuit. And I don't really want to be in my swimsuit for the video. You might see there that I kind of specifically went directionally with this. Not really sure it mattered once I got going with my other things, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be painting kind of a garden flower scene in thick acrylic paint. Check out my Lush series. That's what will end up being on at least one of these. So I'm kind of thinking I've got a sky up there going horizontal, and then I'm going to have some tall leaves and stems and flowers going vertical on the canvas. So that's why I'm trying to intentionally direct that paint that way. I've got some blue painter's tape on the sides of the canvases and actually on the back of the canvas, just where the wood part is. I want to keep those sides nice and neat, and it doesn't matter to me if the back is messed up or not, but I specifically want the sides smooth. I'll be painting them with either one color or some of the same colors that are on the front of the painting. Now that I've got that background in, I'm going back and starting with the texture. I kind of want to make sure, you can see it's going down in big red blobs, and I'm just trying to make sure I've got a variety of things going on. I want small blobs, little blobs, big blobs. Then I want some directional things going on in there. it really doesn't matter what it looks like as far as where things are, like the background, what I was telling you about. I was kind of getting some directional things in. Here, I really don't care for what I'm doing. It doesn't matter where things land. Let's listen to some music and watch me throw some paint. Here we go. This is where you get your workout. Putting that either horizontal or vertical paint on there, just splattering it. Do this for an hour or so and you're going to know it later on in the day. Your arm's going to be awfully sore. I would suggest if you do this, if you're right-handed, switch over to your left hand every now and then. Not only will you make both arms nice and sore, you'll get some interesting directions whenever you switch hands. A little tip about your feet. Shoes or no shoes. I like to paint barefoot. I've tried it both ways. This is the reason why I like to paint barefoot. Sometimes I got to go back in the house and get something. Now you're saying, well, you're barefoot and you've got paint all over your feet. I have a pair of old sandals that I can just slip on without holding on to anything and go back in the house. They've got paint all over them that's dry, but I can go back in the house. If I've got wet paint on my feet, just slip my sandals on and I can go back in the house if I need to. Also, even when I paint the walls inside my house, I like to do it barefoot because if I step in paint barefoot, I know I've stepped in paint. Then I can make sure I get it off my foot. If I've stepped in paint with shoes on, I have no idea that I've stepped in it. Here we go. This is an idea to show you what the texture looks like. Look at all of those different colors. That does not look appealing at all. Kind of looks like somebody threw up all over my painting. But as I said, there's other things going to go over the top of this. My aim was those textures, those bubbles, those splotches. There is probably grass in there that's kind of flown in there. I'm pretty sure there's probably a bug or two in there. But they just make for a nice painting. Okay, all of that paint throwing is dry. Then I put a layer of orange over the top of it. You can still see some of that paint in there, but as you see as I go along, there's going to be some other colors that will go on top of this, so that doesn't really matter. Here we go, we're going to mix some paint. We've got some blue and white, and we're going to mix that up for a nice light blue sky. I like to put some little hidden messages in my paintings. Like I said before, it's the beginning of summer and I've got summer vacation on my mind. Today is the first day of summer vacation. We're ready to go. Got that light blue all mixed up and I'm putting it over the orange right now. See how you can see the textures? Remember those big red blobs? You can really see those big red blobs now. And if I zoomed in, you'd be able to see it even more. Also, I wanted to point out that that orange underneath, you will notice that I'm not going to cover all of that orange. I want just little bits of it peeking out. Now I've got my handy dandy stylus tool. You can use just about anything that you can scratch into the paint, a toothpick or a fork, but I want to be able to see that orange underneath there. It really looks good in the background of the painting. So since that blue is a thin layer, I need to get those scratches in that top part before it dries. You can see I'm putting some purple color down on the bottom there. Eventually, I'm going to get those two mixed in the middle. I've skipped forward to the last layer of grasses. I always start with my darkest value grass, which is that deep Prussian blue, and work my way forward into the lighter value grasses. That way, that darker color pushes back into the picture plane and the lighter color comes forward. I've zoomed in here as I continue working. I wanted you to see some of that texture that's deep down in the grasses. I really like how that paint of the grasses are skipping over a lot of that texture and getting a few different values on the grass itself as it skips over some of those higher rised areas. And here's a little close-up of the sky as well. So that's it for this video. Take a look at the next video. It's called Painting in Batches. That's where I finished this particular painting. So if you're in my neck of the woods, come on down to one of these galleries and you can see these paintings in person. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to this channel. It sure does help out.